Oh, good morning. Good morning. Hello, it's Kimberly Borgens here with some wisdom highlights for you. That's what I like to call it because I have all this wisdom with every gray hair. So, good morning. So today we're talking about here in the Hive Society, we're going to talk about some things about are you really dressed for success as an entrepreneur? Because so often entrepreneurs think that they are ready and to receive the right clients and everything else. And I just wanted to address the dress. Like, it's kind of funny because, I've been an entrepreneur for well over 30 years now. And I've worked from home, I've worked from an office, I still do both. And the thing about it is that, uh, people have expectations for you, whether you like it or not. Some people say, like, I no longer work in corporate. I'm not dressing corporate, right? Some people are like, I'm a fitness person. It's okay if I wear leggings. And that's all great. Like, I'm not judging you, but I will share with you some insights that I've heard from other people, some things that I've noticed, along the way, because I really feel that it's important to dress for success, right? And it's not about, yeah, you have the freedom as an entrepreneur to do pretty much anything that you want to do. I get it. I own it. Like, so much. At the same time, you have to make sure that who your clientele is, who you want to bring into your company, it's not just about you and what you want to wear. It's also about what they perceive you as to begin with. Remember, first impressions make a big difference. So you want to make sure that you are noticing exactly what it is that you want to bring to the people you want to bring into your company. So if you think about it from that perspective, you always want to kind of err to the side of more formal when meeting new prospects and clients. I'd rather have you dress up than dress completely down. But I have some great stories too along the way. So there's got to be some kind of conversation, some kind of connection. It might be uncomfortable what you're wearing if you're, for a short time, but is it better to be more uncomfortable for a short minute than it is to be so comfortable that you don't get the clients that you're looking for? That's something to think about. Okay. So it's not just what you're wearing that's the challenge in the whole process. Is look, when you're wearing comfortable clothes, it's most often you're sitting comfortable too. You're more relaxed in those clothes, right? But maybe your body language needs to match what it is that your clientele that you're going after. And part of that body language is what you're dressing because your body knows, okay, if this is uncomfortable, I'm going to sit a little bit differently. All right. What, how it is. Remember, as an entrepreneur, you're always have to look at what is your brand. How are you branding yourself? And if you're meeting people in a way that is not completely formal for the, or I'm not going to say formal, completely necessary for the meeting that you're going into, then that's really the bigger thing. I'm going to say a couple things. You might not agree with me. You get to do your own thing. This is just my perception after 30 years uh, in business and as an entrepreneur. Look, I didn't come from corporate, but when I started my business, I chose to dress more corporate because I was looking for the respect as a corporate business owner. I was dressing the part I wanted to become. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everybody. I didn't dress for where I was now. I dressed for where I wanted to become. Look, when I first started in business, I didn't know I was going to have a corporation. Okay. We were just a sole proprietorship. We were just working out of our house. We're both just working, right? But I knew that if I wanted to be seen as a professional in my industry, then I needed to dress more corporate because that's the kind of people, those are the clients. I was going after corporate clients, right? don't have to dress like they do. Does that make sense? Okay. So I dressed more corporate. Guess what? I scared people away. At the same time, I got great corporate clients, right? That's what built our business. So some people I scared away, but they weren't people who were going to pay the bills. The people who were going to pay the bills, the corporate clients that I needed to go after, right? Those corporate people that I could put security officers at their locations while their employees were working. Those are the people I needed to dress for. It wasn't about what I wanted. It was about what was needed. And I'm blessed enough to know that at that early age, at that early stage. Look, I was in my 20s. I didn't really know anything, and I'm not in my 20s now. Okay. But at the same time, it's like I didn't know, but I knew that if I was going to meet them and they're corporate people and they're wearing corporate suits, then I needed to get a corporate suit. I had an olive plaid color suit, I had the black suit, I had a blue suit, like I had it, right? And it worked. I was able to get the clients that was needed to build the business based on what I was wearing too. Because if I just walked in a little more comfortable, they wouldn't have taken me serious. Okay, so that's the corporate side. Now, I also have the coaching side of me, right? This is where I work with my clients. I teach them things about business. I coach them. I hold them accountable. I'm known as the queen of accountability because I hold my clients accountable for what it is that they say that they want and do. Now, those people are not going to hire me if I'm all corporate, 90% of them. Okay. I might get a few, but it's not the clientele I'm going after. I'm looking for the small businesses, the entrepreneurs that are ready to step into that next space in their business, right? And that in that space, I can't wear the corporate suits the same way. But if I'm going out in the security realm, I guarantee you I'm going to wear a corporate look because those are my corporate clients that I want to go for more corporate clients. Can you see that, right? So you have to shift who you're going after. You have to shift your look based on that. Now, here's the funny part. I'm a corporate person. I'm doing, I was a facilitator for many years with a personal development company, and I have a bold personality, in case y'all didn't figure that out, right? I have this bold personality. I can seem abrupt. I'm very just like to the point, very direct. Guess what? Many years in security investigations and all that stuff, that's exactly what I needed, right? So that became who I am. At the same time, what would happen is there were people who were coming through personal development that were much more moderately paced people. They were much more, homey, more relaxed, more, entrepreneurs. And I was like, something a little crazy. Right. So I had that corporate persona. And then I was in this personal development space, and the people in that space were afraid of me. Right. And so I started to shift a few things. And let me tell you what I did. So, what y'all don't know, one of the things about me is I love shoes. I do. I love shoes. I admit it. Right? I think shoes are cool. Most women will walk into a store, they find an outfit that they want to wear, for a special event, they want to wear for a birthday party, they want to wear to work, whatever that is, they find that outfit and then they go and figure out the shoes. Not this girl. This girl walks into the shoe department first. She finds the shoes. What shoes are singing to her? I find those shoes that I just like, those are my shoes. I can own these shoes. I can rock a room in these shoes. Like that's just where I come from, right? So I buy the shoes. Then I got to go search far and wide to find the right outfit for the shoes. It's probably a whole lot easier the other way, but hey, nobody ever said I made life easy. So the thing that I want to say is one of the things that I did, the first thing that I did is I started shifting my shoes from out of the corporate shoe. I had fun shoes. I had shoes with sequins on them, and I had shoes, and people would be like, oh my gosh, Kimberly, those shoes are so cool that they were no longer looking at the corporate persona. They were looking at my shoes. Right. And I'm going to say this, and some of y'all might get your little, panties in a wad, but don't. Okay. The word manipulation. Most people think it's a negative word. it actually isn't negative or positive. It's a neutral word. It's just how you use it. And most people look at it as we're using it in a negative way, but I lovingly manipulated people to come and talk to me through my shoes, right? I use my shoes to get people to come talk to me to see that I'm not that bold, bossy, brassy, mean kind of corporate person all the time, but I really was caring and genuine, but I could show them through my shoes. Once they got talking to me, they were no longer afraid. It's just that they saw me. I'm this, big woman. I'm not this tiny little thing. And people, and I have a big voice. And when I'm commanding a room, right, and using my command presence, I'm like, I own this space, and they get a little nervous. But I can own the space with some fabulous shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And you can too. Now, if you're on Zoom, obviously that won't work. But let me tell you, even, through the incident, which, in case you don't know what the incident was, it happened somewhere between 2020, 21, 22, right? That big C word that I don't choose to address. But we call it the incident around here, right? Is when you're on a Zoom call, everything went to Zoom, or, we did virtual meetings, and, now there's many other options that you can do. Look, I used way back in the day, Skype. Okay. So it's still around. All right. So there's so many other ones you can do, but you still have to have a persona virtually. Right. So you need to tuck in your shirts. You need to make it look good. Don't wear wrinkled clothes and messy clothes. Right. Don't do it. I don't care. Like, oh, I gotta hurry up and change because I gotta get on this Zoom call. Like, think ahead a day, or at least 10 minutes ahead. Iron up that shirt real quick, or pick something else. Right. Always wear a smile on your face. And if you're serious, it's okay to be serious for a moment and then put the smile back on. Right. You don't want to be so intimidating that you look so smart and so organized and so unapproachable, right? You want your outfit to reflect who you are genuinely and where you want to go, right? And don't be afraid to switch things up, right? Switch it up. Look, studies show that people that are well dressed, right, are more confident and they're more respected by their colleagues. I want to say that again. Sometimes it's not about you. When people show up well dressed, and I'm not saying like you have to go out and spend a whole lot of money. Look, for many years, many years, it's been a little while, I admit it now, but for many years, I walked into thrift stores and I got some fabulous clothes, designer clothes out of a thrift store, because people like where I'm at right now, like when I'm done, I just move it over to a thrift store, let somebody else have it. So it doesn't have to cost you a lot. And when money's tight, like I'm not asking you to go down and buy a big, outfit or whatever for go to a thrift store. I don't care. Nobody needs to know. I'm just saying. Look, when I went to the police academy, like before I went to the police academy, I was a single mom on welfare. All right. In the academy, there were men who were in there saying, oh, all those welfare people, all those welfare people, all those welfare people. And it was like all negative talk. And one day I said to him, hey, would you consider me to be a person on welfare? Ah, no, not you. I'm like, like, so you could never see me as a woman who is on welfare. And they're like, oh no. Like, oh, that's awesome. Let me let you know. For the last 3 years, I was a single mom on welfare. It blew their mind. Why? Because I didn't look like the traditional single mom on welfare. Like, come on, what is that? Like, come on, guys, think about it. I think that I was able to teach my class, my police academy class, to start looking at people a little bit differently, because they never know who really is where. Okay. But you can dress for success. And when you do that, you're seen as more confident and more respected. These guys had no clue. I didn't change my dress from when I was on welfare to where I was then, right? The only difference was I was wearing a uniform, right? But they saw me off times too. And they never would have guessed that I had been on welfare, right? Look the part. The only thing is that, in the business world, like I said, you have to decide for you what that is, who's the client you want to get. Look, if you want to stay at, if you're a coach and you want to stay and get paid $20 an hour or $25 an hour for coaching, then great, stay there. You don't even need to be watching this. But if you want to exceed last year's gross sales, you might have to do something different this year, right? Is get yourself dressed up, dress for success. I tell people all the time, you're working from home, great, go upstairs, get dressed as if you're going to work out at an office, and then go sit at your desk and own your space. Because when you dress up, your body language shifts, your attitude shifts, right? It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Right? And when they say business professional, what does that mean? Like a two-piece suit, a tie, a solid neutral shirt? Okay. Your skirt length, it should be, to the knee, right? Or close to it. Solid colors, right? Or a subtle pattern in a blouse, a dress, minimal jewelry, dark shoes, dark socks. Like, oh, who made that? Right? Like, who decided that that's what professional attire is? Well, the corporate space. I have seen some amazing corporate leaders who are bold and loud in their clothing, right? It's okay to have color and, show your personality in your clothing and in your shoes, in my case, right? And at the same time, is just make sure that whatever you're dressing authentic for you, right? Dressing authentic for you. Look, some days I am in suits, but they might be pink, right? I have pink suits, I have blue suits, like soft blues, and I've changed a lot of that based on what I want to accomplish nowadays. Look, I am a woman in a male dominated space. I work in security and private investigations. I have about 70 employees right now. And to dress the part, I should be as the CEO of the company, right? In a suit all the time, but I'm not. But do I wear suits? Absolutely. And I wear them to fit my feminine personality of who I am in a male dominant space. I'm not letting that go, right? I thought I needed to fit into their arena years ago. And then I learned like I don't. I just get to be authentic and be me. And that's all I'm asking you to do. But don't be so authentic and me as if I'm comfortable sitting at home curled up in a chair reading a book. Does that make sense? Look, let me tell you what happened a couple months back. A couple months back, we were hiring a new employee in our office. And I do a group interview process to start out. And we had several people who were here for the group interview. And one person, he was a last minute ad, and we gave him a call and he said, yes, he could attend the group interview. But what he said to my business partner, Lawrence, he said, hey, I just want you to know I'm coming straight from work. I'm not dressed well. Is that going to be a problem? And we said, Lawrence said, no, that's not a problem. So Lawrence talked to me. That's my husband, my business partner, the main man, my conversationalist in life, right? He said to me, he says, hey, I just want you to know this one guy's coming and he's coming straight from work and he works in a distribution center and he's like, he's not going to be dressed up. And I was like, okay, no problem. So he and I were doing the group interviews together. It was kind of a panel group interview. And the funniest part was we had all these gentlemen who came up. They were sitting out in our lobby waiting for the interview to start. And I have 3 ladies in my office who, work for me. One's an HR manager, one's an operations manager, one she does our scheduling and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, about 10 minutes before the interview was to start, all 3 ladies come walking in my door in my office. They close the door behind them and I'm like, what, you guys, what? And they're like, oh my gosh, Kimberly, you cannot hire the guy who showed up to an interview and he looked like, he's got a long sleeve shirt. He's got jeans. He looks a little dirty. Like, please don't hire him. All 3 of them were like, don't hire this guy. And they base that assumption on his clothing. And I looked at them, I said, look at my three fairy, my fairy godmothers all just come walking in here, making sure that I hire the right person. And they're like, yeah, but you can't hire them. And I said, okay, I got the message. I'll listen. All right. And they're like, okay, just like they left. We go into the interview, right? Guess who they're talking about? The one gentleman who we already knew was not going to be dressed up for the interview. Okay. We go through the interview process. We're interviewing all these people. Guess who ends up getting the job? Is the one guy who they didn't want me to hire. We did interview, and when it was all said and done the next day, I said, okay, ladies, let's have a conversation. I said, you made an assumption, but he actually is the most qualified. He's the most this, and he let us know in advance that he was coming in from straight from work and he wouldn't have been able to change. He lives, a 40-minute drive from town here. So my fairy godmothers were coming in to make sure and take care of me. Yeah, I love having employees like that, right? Is that they want to make sure that, we're being taken care of and what they see and everything else. But what I told him and I said, I understand and I agree with you if that was the case, if that's how he dressed all the time. But he apologized even in the interview. He said, hey, I just want to apologize again for my dress. I just got the call this morning after I'd already left. I didn't know that I was going to be coming in for this interview. And, I just came straight from work. We're like, we understand. You already shared that with us. Thank you so much. Da 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 da. So it was funny because once he was hired, and yes, he does work for me. Uh, the gals, they all like I got together with him there, and I said, "Let me explain what happened here," and then they all still laugh about it now, right? Because we have this belief that this is when people see you, they make an assessment. They make that assessment and then start making judgment. My fairy godmothers made an assessment, right? They made a judgment. They didn't have all the facts, and I knew who I was looking for the right person for the right position, right? So dressing for success is important, unless, of course, there's going to be that little tiny thing at the end that says, well, maybe, maybe not. Look, the reason why it's important for you to dress professionally in the workplace, if you're online, if you're in person, if you're going out networking, if you're going out to meet new people and you're looking for potential clients, you want to make a good first impression. You want to communicate that you take your job seriously, because if you can't communicate it with your body, then you have to speak to every person in the room. And guess what? You can't always speak to every person in the room, right? You're not that good. Okay. Unless it's a very small room and whatever, right? You're there to represent your company. What is the company? What is the brand for your company? What is it that you want to represent and want to be seen as with your company? You also want to, exuberate confidence in who you are. What's your confidence level, right? If you're kind of dressed down and you're not feeling it and your shoulders are down, people know that you're not confident. Why do they want to hire you? If you say that you can get me to $1 million, you better be confident about it. And you better stand strong in that belief, because I guarantee you can't get me to $1 million until you do. Right? You want to feel like you're part of the team. If you're the only one who's dressing down, but everybody else is dressing up, or maybe you're dressing down and then you give permission for everybody who works for you to dress less than you, right? That's not the persona that you want to have. When you dress smart and professional, it enhances your credibility, right? And you can still be authentic and have good credibility because you dress the part. And like I said, when I first started, I dressed above the position I wanted to be. Dress above the position, right? One step above. I didn't even know that's what I was doing at the time, right? Ignorance is bliss sometimes, I guess. But now I'm very clear, right? So you want to dress one level above the position that you want. How do you expect to get seen above everybody else? Look, I know I have a lot of people who are in my realm that are coaches and, maybe consultants and things like that. Well, what sets you apart from everybody else? Look, if all the fitness consultants or all the fitness coaches are wearing leggings and, a pullover, then what's going to set you apart from them. Dress to set yourself apart, right? You know, it's what does a CEO wear, right? You're the CEO of your company. What does a CEO well? Well, think about it. They dress professional. They have a polished look, right? It doesn't have to be in this day and age. It doesn't have to be a tailored suit, right? Or dress slacks or in a something really corporate looking. It doesn't have to be in black, navy, and gray, right? But at the same time, it does have to be professional. And you want to be professional, so look it. All right. Okay, so I've gone through some of the things. What I really just want to say is you want to dress your part. You want to dress the part of who you are, why it's important for you to dress that way. You have to know that. You have to know why it's important. You have to know that the people that are in front of you are important, right? It's not just about you. It's about them too. It's about them having the accurate assessment of you, right? Not like my fairy godmothers, right? You want to have it to where the assessment is really about what people see, how they see it, how your body reacts to it, right? And your body language and everything else. That's the main thing. You have to be authentically you, and at the same time you have to do the next level of what that you looks like, and have fun with it. All right. If shoes aren't your thing, then pick something else. Look, there are some amazing, well dressed people who, even in suits, just in the corporate realm, change the little handkerchief in the breast pocket, right? Some will wear bow ties as their signature, their brand, their thing, right? Like Steve Harvey has a whole line of bow ties, right? That's one of his things, right? What's your thing? What's your one thing? What's that one thing that you're going to do that makes you stand out no matter what you wear? Like me, I wear different color glasses when I'm online based on my outfits. I wear different color shoes when I'm not online based on my outfits and my personality. Sometimes I walk in, I'm like, okay, what shoes do I want to wear today? Okay, what outfit do I want to pick? Some days I walk in, okay, that's what I'm wearing today. Now I got to find the right shoes. Okay. Whatever that is for you, do that, have fun with it. And most importantly, just be authentically you in a professional manner. Don't be a lazy entrepreneur. Be a strategic entrepreneur and dress for success. And if you need help with that because that's not your gifting, that's okay. Get some help. I have some amazing ladies who can help you dress and style. Whether you're an older woman, I got an amazing gal there. And if you're younger, I have a hip and sweetheart of a gal over there. So if you need somebody to help you dress for success, let me know because I'd be happy to connect you with Susan or Marissa. All right. You guys have a fabulous day. Or have a great and blessed week. Bye-bye.